Prokaryotes have one RNA polymerase. How many RNA polymerases are there in eukaryotes? A2, B3, C4, D none. The correct answer is 3. If you consider a transcribing RNA pol 2 with a transcript as small as 30 bases, which serine residue in its CTD will be phosphorylated? A2, B5, C7, D none. The correct answer is 5. How many of eukaryotic RNA polymerase subunits are common for all three polymerases? A3, B5, C10, D7. The correct answer is 5. In what sequence are the serine residues in RNA pol 2 phosphorylated? A527, B257, C275, D725. The correct answer is 275. RPA2 is one of the largest subunits of RNA polymerase in eukaryotes. It is homologous to the prokaryotic A alpha subunit, B beta subunit, C beta prime subunit, D omega subunit. The correct answer is beta subunit. Which RNA polymerase can bind CBP? AI, B2, C3, D none. The correct answer is 2. You designed an antibody against phosphorylated CTD of RNA polymerase 2. Then you use a DNA fragment with lac operon and try to immunoprecipitate the RNA pol 2. What will be the expected result? A moderate concentration of RNA pol 2 will precipitate. B RNA pol 2 that precipitated will be contaminated with pol 3. C high amount of RNA pol 2 will precipitate. D no RNA pol 2 will precipitate. The correct answer is no RNA pol 2 will precipitate. In an experiment you add growing concentration of the alpha amanitin. What will be the sequence in which RNA polymerases are affected if at all? A pol I pol 3 pol 2 unaffected. B pol I pol 3. C pol 3 pol 2 pol I. D pol 2 pol 3 pol I unaffected. The correct answer is pol 2 pol 3 pol I unaffected. In a Drosophila polytene chromosome just before molting you add green labeled antibody against unphosphhorylated RNA pol 2 CTD and red labeled antibody against phosphorylated RNA pol 2 CTD. These give fluorescence on adding the respective substrates. What will be the color in gene 74EF and 75B? A red, B green, C yellow, D magenta. The correct answer is red. You isolate the nucleolus from the nucleus and performed a density gradient centrifugation with the extract. Then you check the different for the RNA polymerase activity of the different segment. Which RNA polymerase would you expect to find in abundance? A RNA pol I, B RNA pol 2, C RNA pol 3, D RNA pol 4. The correct answer is RNA pol I. Which factor phosphorylates the serine residues in RNA pol 2 CTD? A TPA, B TPA, C TPA, D TPA. The correct answer is TPA. All the RNA polymerases share 5 common subunits which are present in all the 3 polymerases and are all alike. State whether the statement is true or false. A true, B false, C, D. The correct answer is false. What is the sequence of the heptad repeat of C-terminal domain? A TSPWSTT, B YSPTSGS, C YSPTSPS, D YSLPSTS. The correct answer is YSPTSPS.